It's time to put someone accountable. Many killings, many journalists were attacked, shot, arrested, and nobody was held accountable. And we want to make sure that what happened to Shireen is not repeated anywhere, not here, not any other place.
We all know and knew your sister Shireen as a very prominent, respected journalist and as a voice for Palestinians. But what was she like as your sister?
Uh, we are the only sister and brothers, we're the only siblings, so we were very close. We have a small family, and that made us always together. At least when I'm here, most of my time I was traveling, but with my family, she was always with them, calling them, staying in touch with them. She was very supportive to me personally, to my children, my daughters. She supported them in everything, guided them in their educational life. She loved the family, and she loved people, and she was extremely supportive, a very brilliant lady.
And Anton, why was she so seen as such an important voice for Palestinian people?
Shireen worked mm, almost half of her life in the media, and she was very well known because she was able to transmit the Palestinian voice to the world, and she captured it completely what she saw. She always captured facts. All her reports were based on facts, what she saw in the field, what she saw when she entered the Palestinian homes, mainly the prisoners, visiting their homes, their families. She almost went into every home. Everybody knew Shireen, and especially during her work with Al-Jazeera, she was very famous. She covered the first Intifada. She covered the pullout of the occupation from Gaza. She covered several incidents in Palestine and outside. But her voice, like I said, she transmitted the real facts and the truth to the world. The voice of peace, I would say she was.
And Anton, what is your understanding of the events that led to your sister's death?
I, I'm not an expert, but what I saw as a person, as just a regular person from what was broadcasted on TV, what eyewitnesses said, from visiting the site where she was assassinated, it's clearly she was targeted. Shireen was absolutely targeted from what I saw, from what I heard, and from visiting the site. The area is completely open. Whoever was with Shireen or next to Shireen, they were in the open. It was obvious they were journalists. They were not any combatant or fighters in that area. They were the only group of people in that spot, journalists and media. Nobody else. Also, she had her vest, the press vest, flak jacket on, her helmet on, and still she was bluntly targeted in a very deadly area. They chose a very specific area, the head, to make sure she's silenced, to make sure she's killed. And I can't, there is no other way. Whoever looks at these videos, whoever hear the eyewitnesses, what they said, can come up with a different story other than lies and fabrications.
Now, the Israeli defense spokespeople push back on that, and they say, they originally said that it was likely that it was a Palestinian gunman, but now they have acknowledged that it could be errant Israeli fire that could have caused her death? I mean, obviously there is a contested view on what happened. You feel very strongly, and many would agree with you. What do you think needs to happen to get to the bottom of the truth?
We definitely need an international independent, transparent investigation. We were shocked to hear that the US are not opening an investigation. We really demanded for that. We asked for a US independent investigation. She's a journalist, a female journalist, an American, and there should be a US independent probe initiated for her death and for her killing. We also thank the Palestinian Authority for initiating the investigation, coming up with the report, which was fully based on facts, what was happening on that hour when around and when she was assassinated on that day.
Antony Blinken yesterday said that he had urged his Israeli counterparts to complete their investigations into Shireen's killings. There's also been talk of an FBI probe into her death. Is that the sort of thing that you would be looking for?
I really cannot trust anything coming out from the Israeli occupation. They have changed their story several times since this incident, and every time there is something different from what was said earlier. And we recently heard that sometime, sorry, the military will hold an investigation, nobody will hold an investigation, very contradicting reports coming from the Israeli side. And I'm sure at the end they will come out with no criminal facts were found. This is unacceptable. We need an independent probe. The US is the best to do this since Shireen was an American. They should be involved directly and to investigate the incident. It's time to put someone accountable. Many killings, many journalists were attacked, shot, arrested, and nobody was held accountable. And we want to make sure that what happened to Shireen is not repeated anywhere, not here, not any other place. This is creating a new era for media while covering the fields. This means no media personnel will be safe. So there should be someone accountable for this assassination.
And Anton, the other scenes which really shocked people, I mean, the death of your sister was a shock across the whole world. She was so well respected and there was a huge amount of affection for her. Then on top of that, we were all horrified to see scenes from her funeral procession. Just tell us what your understanding of what happened that day.
It was really shocking for us. They didn't even allow us time to mourn Shireen or to offer her a proper funeral, proper burial. And we urged the police not to be visible at that place. You know, this is just give us an hour to finish the funeral, to finish the procession. And we were surprised and shocked to see how they barged in, beating on pallbearers with batons. Several are still in the hospital. Others were really were arrested for no reason, still in jail. And this was unacceptable. This was a barbaric, savage act. Instead of giving us at least 1 hour to mourn Shireen, they just bombarded the hospital. They went into the hospital building for no reason. It was really a savage, barbaric attack, which cannot be justified anyway.
And I mean, the Israeli police said that there was, they are alleging that some Palestinians were hurling objects at them, and that's why they acted. What's your reaction to that argument?
Nobody heard anybody. Nobody heard anything onto them. Everyone was around the casket trying to carry the casket, trying to carry the casket to the hearse when we were attacked. The minute I walked out with carrying the casket from the morgue, we just saw several police officers attacking us savagely, barbarically, just beating everyone. Even they were trying to drop the casket on the ground, which was unacceptable, but I really thank everyone, or the pallbearers who were there to keep it up and avoided dropping it.
Yeah, very, very distressing scenes. It must have been incredibly upsetting for you and your family to see that. Anton, we're coming to the end of our time together. What do you want to happen next? And if anything positive can come from this tragedy in terms of the wider politics, what would you like that to be?
Despite the sorrow and the trauma we received as her direct family after her assassination, I still hope that something good might come out from this. It might be difficult to say this, but I still hope there will be a change for the Palestinian to put an end to this occupation. This savage occupation has been there for years, and I think that's the best time to start a new era, to achieve peace. All the Palestinians want peace, and we need the chance to achieve this peace. But unfortunately, the occupation, the current occupation authorities are not allowing any space for peace. That's very unfortunate, but I still have hopes that peace will be achieved soon.
And what's your message to the British government? We will be speaking to a British MP later in the programme. What is your message to British politicians?
I really urge them that they should be more involved. Someone should hold this occupation accountable. Shireen is a female journalist, the voice of peace, and she was silenced. It is a simple, it's a very, very simple thing, and there is no need even to beat the bush around it. She was assassinated in cold blood, a female journalist, and there should be someone accountable. And the UK are in a very good position to help us with this. They are able to put some pressure and to stop the double standards on both between Israeli and Palestinians. There should be something firm that this should come to an end.
And final question, Anton. Do you think the prospect of a two-state solution is possible?
I would love to see this, and I really hope it will happen. But unfortunately, like I said, with this current government in Israel, it's not going to happen. It's time for the Israeli people to know that we want peace and we will reach peace. Maybe not now, maybe not in 2 years, but there will be peace. The sooner, the better. The more lives will be saved, and the more prosperous our region will be with peace.
Well, Anton, it's a really difficult time for you and your family, and we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with Times Radio.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Anton. That was a really, really fascinating interview. I'm just so sorry for your loss. Shireen was just the most incredible, inspiring woman. To many of us, you know, female journalists, we really look to her, and you know, I'm just so sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much for these kind words. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayesha. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Anton Abu Akleh, the brother of the Al-Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, who was killed just over 2 weeks ago. Now, on Thursday, Al-Jazeera news network announced it will refer the killing of its journalist Shireen Abu Akleh to the International Criminal Court. On the same day, Israel's Minister for Defense, Benny Gantz, tweeted the following: "The State of Israel offers its condolences following the death of Shireen Abu Akleh. The IDF is conducting an ongoing investigation into the matter in order to reveal the truth. Any claim that the IDF intentionally harms journalists or uninvolved citizens is a blatant lie."